Hey y'all, hey, let's talk about some of the worst things you can tell someone that has just suffered a loss, no matter what happened. Uh, be kind. You don't know what that person was going through prior to them losing a loved one. It could be sudden death, it can be a slow death, it could be a time to say goodbye, a time not to say goodbye. We didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my little brother who was born when I was in 11th grade. So kind of raised him as my own, really dear and near to me, my best friend. He lived with me practically all his life. I'm not saying that anybody came and told me anything kind of sideways, but you get to thinking. So I just thought I'll just make a video about it. The worst thing that you can tell somebody that has lost a loved one. And I just decided to come out here and just try to get my mind right or whatever. It's been rough, it's been hard. But everybody just be kind, right? A lot of people say they be quick to tell you, well, they're in a better place. Well, sure, we know they are, but they're not here with us, and it's still hard, right? So just because you telling a person they're in a better place, we know that, but it still takes some time for that to process to the grieving family. It takes some time for that to resonate. You still healing, you still in the acceptance process, you still trying to wrap your head around what just happened, why this person is no longer here. Like, what? Give us a chance to figure out how to move on instead of just telling people you have to move on, and stuff like that. So they come up with he's in a better place, and right, no more suffering. We know all of that, right? There's a reason for everything. Yeah, we know that. But we still would like to grieve who we have lost, right? It doesn't matter. Some people tell you if it was my child, they will be like, well, you have to be strong for your other kids or whatever like that. Yeah, but that's still a part of me. So let me go through the process. Like, you got to remember, what you say. Some people be like, they were good, but God knows best. So, God take you when you're ready, and rightfully so, he do. I'm not arguing with the big God baby, because I couldn't make it without him. Some people say, I know how you feel or whatever, but just let that person have their time. Everybody needs their time to, figure out some things, right? A lot of people tell you to be strong, but in that moment, you're not strong, you're weak. You're trying to figure things out. You're trying to figure out, where do you go from here? How do you, just like, it was my birthday. We did them on a Friday, and knowing, he's calling for my birthday, he's sending something, he's showing up or whatever. Like I said, we wasn't just siblings. He was like my child. I raised him. So we wasn't estranged siblings. You know what I'm saying? I raised him along with my kids or whatever. My mom had him when I was in 11th grade. So it's rough. It's been rough, And then with my mom being sick, it's like, hell, I'm grieving twice. I'm grieving for her and I'm grieving for myself. And I know, it's hard when you can't say goodbye to someone, right? It's really hard. Not saying that no death it's not hard. But when you can't say goodbye, but then I think about a young man that or the young people that's never found. That's really rough on the families. So I try to count my blessing, and then I think about, you know, I read up or I heard about this mom. She lost 3 kids at one time. Oh, baby, that's gut wrenching. You know, where do you go from here? How do you end up here? My little brother was just texting the group message at 12:04. We got his last text message. He had just talked to a cousin slash brother at like 12:05, 12:06, and we talking about not even an hour later, gone. Do you hear me? Gone. But there's no rhyme or reason. You just have to be kind and let people go through what they need to go through. The whole grieving process is rough, y'all. Prayers to anyone that has lost someone. I'm getting gifts. Got to be my little brother. This showed up in the mail from one of his homeboys. Bless you. Somebody made me a cake. I'm like, wait, what? Come on through. And then this one took the cake. His classmate, don't know me, don't know my mama, showed up with 2 dozen roses at the funeral. My God.